Hello, I'm Quan Moon again. Pinky is already here waiting for us. She's already waiting to make this video. Check it out, look at Pinky. Pinky's right here. Pinky's right here. She's waiting for us. Look, 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 look. Hey, Pinky, what are you doing? What are you doing? You waiting for me to read a little bit? Waiting for me to read? Get me to read a little bit for you, Pinky. It's hot today, isn't it? It's very hot where we are today. Around 103. It's been like that for a few days. I'm just glad we didn't get with any hit with any of the storms with the power outages up in the mid-Atlantic area. I'm glad that didn't happen to us. Right, Pinky? We're just sweltering, that's all. But at least we have power. But that pretty much limits our activities to indoors. And so that's why I'm going to do a little bit of reading today. Alright, let's put Pinky down. Alright, Pinky, let's go down. And you listen too, okay? Okay, so today's passage is called The World in Turmoil, and that's on page 35 in The Human Condition. Subpassage, The Origin of Conflict. The Brahmin Aramandanda approached the Venerable Mahakakana, exchanged friendly greetings with him, and asked him, "Why is it, Master Kakana, that Karyas fight with Karyas, Brahmins with Brahmins, and householders with householders?" It is Brahmin because of attachment to sensual pleasures, adherence to sensual pleasures, fixation on sensual pleasures, addiction to sensual pleasures, obsession with sensual pleasures, holding firmly to sensual pleasures, that Karyas fight with Karyas, Brahmins with Brahmins, and householders with householders. Why is it, Master Kakana, that ascetics fight with ascetics then? It is Brahmin because of attachment of views, adherence to views, fixation to views, addiction to views, obsession with views, holding firmly with views to views that ascetics fight with ascetics. That's a very important passage. This short passage right here, he explains that the addiction and fixation to sensual pleasures is what causes people to fight, because they desire these things and they covet these things and they're envious of these things, and so they want it, and so because they want it, eventually it leads to ill will, hatred for their neighbors, and then eventually they pick up the rod and weapon and they go to war. Okay, so why do beings live in hate? Saka, ruler of the devas, asked the Blessed One, "Beings wish to live without hate, harming, hostility, or enmity. They wish to live in peace, yet they live in hate, harming one another, hostile, and as enemies. By what fetters are they bound, sir, that they live in such a way?" The Blessed One said this, "Ruler of the devas, it is the bonds of envy and niggardliness that binds beings, so that, although they wish to live without hate, hostility, or enmity, and to live in peace, yet they live in hate, harming one another, hostile, and as enemies." This was the Blessed One's reply, and Saka, delighted, and exclaimed, "So it is, Blessed One, so it is, Fortunate One. Through the Blessed One's answer, I have overcome my doubt and gotten rid of uncertainty." Then Saka, having expressed his appreciation, asked another question. "But sir, what gives rise to envy and niggardliness? What is their origin? How are they born? How do they arise? When what is present do they arise? When what is absent do they not arise?" Envy and niggardliness, ruler of devas, arise from liking and disliking. This is their origin. This is how they are born, how they arise. When these are present, they arise. When these are absent, they do not arise. "But sir, what gives rise to liking and disliking?" "They arise, ruler of the devas, from desire. And what gives rise to desire?" "It arises, ruler of the devas, from thinking. When the mind thinks about something, desire arises. When the mind thinks of nothing, desire does not arise. But sir, what gives rise to thinking? Thinking, ruler of the devas, arises from elaborated perceptions and notions. When elaborated perceptions and notions are present, thinking arises. When elaborated perceptions and notions are absent, thinking does not arise. So he explains it briefly here. Why beings live in hate. Starts with envy and stinginess, and then it eventually leads to much more. And all of it basically originates from thinking, which comes from contact. When you make contact with with anything tangible or intangible, you start to make feelings and perceptions and volitional formations about it, and then you start to you start to like it or dislike it, and then that eventually leads to enviness and niggardliness, which leads to wars. So Buddha, the fortunate one, was answering Saka, the ruler of the gods, who asked him why beings live in hate, and this is what he said, which pretty much explains everything that's going on in the world today. All the governments of the world, and all the people that are fighting amongst each other. They want to stay in power. They want they want money, glory, fame, all that stuff, and they don't want to lose it. And the other governments, they want it too, and so they built up their militaries, and they're going to go to war, and the casualties will be severe. And it all starts from this, from thinking and liking and disliking. So if we release our liking and disliking, and have no preference for either one, then there will be no wars in the world today. Alright, I think that's enough for today. I'm going to make it short, and I'll read a little bit more later. Alright, bye.